goes away here in Week 11. 7-0 Chicago. Robbie Gould kicking things away to Nate Burleson, who begins the return at the Seahawks 11. And Burleson tackled at the 32-yard line. That's where Matt Hasselbeck and company will go to work for the Seahawks.
And, you know, here is Coach Holmgren talking to Bruce DeHaven, the special teams coach, and said, hey, we got to kick the ball deeper. We want to keep it away from Devin Hester, but you've got to kick the ball down the field because that touchdown was set up by great field position that the Bears had on that return by trying to keep it away from Devin Hester. Now 2 plays later, Cedric Benson breaks one for a touchdown.
Seattle's turn to answer out of the shotgun. Hasselbeck on his first play from scrimmage. And the pass is caught by Maurice Morris out of the backfield. And Mo Morris gets it down to midfield. Urlacher on the stop, a gain of 19. Well, for Matt Hasselbeck, you saw him out of the shotgun. Mike Holmgren told us on Friday, JC, that it's up to Matt to use that formation whenever he so chooses, and he happened to use it a lot Monday in the win against the 49ers.
Yeah, he'll use it a lot today to get away from some of the pressure that the Bears are going to bring. The key to that is they can still throw their quick game.
There's the quick pass out to Bobby Ingram, the ex-Bear, tackled at the 48. Tremaine McBride, the rookie corner, on coverage for Chicago.
And that's really going to be the key, because in this West Coast offense, it's all predicated on quick passes. But what they've got to do is they've got to run the ball. Maurice Morris had 87 yards rushing in their game Monday night. If they can get anywhere close to that on the ground, it will keep the Chicago Bears defense honest and not make the Seattle Seahawks one-dimensional.
Ingram in motion on 2nd and 8. Up the middle, lots of running room for Maurice Morris. Urlacher on the tackle as Morris breaks off another big one. A gain of 13, Seattle first down.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about. If they can establish some kind of run or a threat of run, well, now the Bears have to honor that. They can't just run off the ball and try to pressure Matt Hasselbeck. See, Sean Alexander is not playing. Maurice Morris is a guy that's just going to hit the hole. And when we talk to the offensive lineman and Chris Spencer, it's almost easier to block for Maurice Morris because he doesn't dance around. He's getting up the field right now.
A 4-receiver set for Seattle, something we'll see plenty of this afternoon, and that one's nearly picked off. Charles Tillman was the closest jersey. Well, Chicago defensively last week, coming off a good effort in Oakland. What's the key for the Bears here this afternoon?
Well, they just have to play the Bears type of football, and that it means getting pressure with their front 4 guys, being able to drop 7 guys in coverage, and then also creating turnovers. That's what this defense does best, and that's what this offense needs, is for the defense to give them the ball in great field position. That's the way the Chicago Bears like to play defense.
Marcus Pollard checks in at tight end for Seattle. Here's Hasselbeck out of the shotgun again on 2nd and 10. Hasselbeck gets out of harm's way and has the pass caught by the fullback, Leonard Weaver. Weaver danced out of bounds at the 26. So the guy with the big Max Strong shoes to fill makes the good catch on the sideline as the drive continues for the Seahawks.
And that's key right there. Matt Hasselbeck told us that they've got to get their running backs out in a pass pattern because he always has to be able to check the ball down to him. If you try to keep those guys in to max protect, meaning keeping those guys in to block the rushers, well, now you only have 3 guys down the field, your 2 wide receivers and your tight end. The backs have to be able to get out, and he can check the ball down to him when the guys aren't open.
2 tight ends set here for Seattle. And a timeout has been spent by Chicago. You know, you bring up an interesting point, JC.
That's the first charge timeout, Chicago. 30-second timeout.
Matt Hasselbeck told us on Friday that in looking at teams that have had recent success against Lovie Smith and the Bears, Indy and New England in particular did that very thing. Swung their backs out and checked things down.
And the reason is because the way they play defense, they like to play a lot of cover 2. Cover 2 is designed to take those wide receivers out of the game. You're going to hammer them at the line of scrimmage or within 5 yards and take away the deep throws. If you don't have anything short, meaning your back's checking down, well, now it's a wasted down for you.
Join us here on Fox on Thanksgiving Day. No longer do the Lions play on a Thanksgiving turkey. Even though Detroit was a loser today to the G-Men. Green Bay a big winner over Carolina. Pack and Lions Thanksgiving Day right here on Fox.
That's going to be a big game in the NFC North, and one these Bears will be watching because they're trying to catch both of those teams in the standings.
Two tight ends set, Branch in motion on 3rd and 3. Hasselbeck's pass is incomplete, intended for the former Super Bowl MVP. Charles Tillman had coverage for Chicago.
And their timing with Deion Branch may be a little bit off because Deion Branch is his first game back in 4 weeks. He's still not 100%, but he's good enough to go today. But they haven't worked together a lot. You know, he hasn't practiced a whole lot, so the timing there between those two guys may be off just a bit.
Josh Brown from 44 yards away. He was 1 of 2 in the shutout victory Monday against San Francisco. And the Brown kick is up and no good. A rare Josh Brown miss. Still 7-0 Chicago. Indeed, the last two champions in the NFC, and Seattle feels like there's a score to settle with the current conference champs. Bears beat them twice last year en route to the Super Bowl. Grossman on first down, and that one caught at midfield by Bernard Berrien. There is a flag on the play.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Number 93 defense. Blow to the helmet, 15 yards, automatic, first down.
Well, the crowd booing referee John Perry as the fourth-year man Craig Terrell is flagged with the roughing the passer infraction.
Yeah, that's going to be big. Not only do they get the catch downfield to Bernard Berrien, but watch inside. Craig Terrell's just coming off right there in that left hand to the helmet. Rex Grossman, they're going to call that every time.
15 yards on the penalty. Tack it on to the 16-yard pass play, and that means Grossman and company move it to the 35 of Seattle. Seth Benson in the back of the eye for the Bears, and the handoff is to Benson with another huge seam and another huge run. Leroy Hill made the stop inside the 15 as we check in with Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles.
How about a double update for you? Washington and the Cowboys. This is Jason Campbell finding Chris Cooley for a 19-yard score. Redskins up 7-0. And then St. Louis at San Francisco. Mark Bulger and Torrey Holt. So many times they've done it. This time it gives the Rams a 7-0 lead. Two updates for my two favorite guys, Matt and JC.
All right, Kurt, thanks.
Double duty.
Boy, the Bears on the move once again. This is Benson getting plenty of opportunity this afternoon. Lofa Tatupu makes the tackle. A gain of maybe a yard or two running right.
And Cedric Benson, as we saw in these first two carries that he's had, the touchdown and then the first play, this drive that he carried the ball, he got his shoulder square, downhill and running with a lot of authority. That's where he's at his best. When he tries to take the ball outside, now they're not playing to his strength. He's not a speed guy. He's a guy that needs to hit the ball inside, use his strength and his power.
The Bears are already close to their season rushing per game average. Already 65 ground yards for Chicago. And flags all over the place. Fingers were being pointed in the direction of the Bears.
False start. Number 85 offense, 5-yard penalty, second down.
They get the tight end John Gilmore.
You know, the Seattle defense, it's not a big physical defense. They're really emphasizing speed and guys that can run to the ball and go sideline to sideline. So they have problems with teams that come in and play the power game like Chicago's done so far.
After the penalty, 2nd and 13 for Chicago. And Grossman's pass is caught at the sideline by Bernard Berrien. There is no denying the chemistry that exists when Grossman is on the field with Bernard Berrien.
Bernard Berrien's their big play guy, but you know, this stadium right here forces a lot of false start penalties because this crowd is so loud. You can see right there since 05, they've force 64 opponents to false start. We had one already today. Well, this crowd is one of the best in the league.
Julian Peterson in the defense, swarming to the two tight end set on the field for Chicago. Incomplete, intended for the veteran tight end Desmond Clark. So Robbie Gould and the field goal unit will come onto the field, and as amazing as this may sound, Chicago is a field goal away from matching their first quarter point total from the first 10 weeks of the season.
And that's something that they wanted to try to emphasize. And when we talked to them last night, they said, we've got to start fast. We've got to get some points on the board, and so far it's gone well for them.
The Bears' all-time leading field goal kicker by percentage, Gould from 31, puts Chicago up 10-0 midway through the first quarter in Seattle. Chicago, as we remind you to join us next Sunday. NFL Fox Sunday presents the Vikings and Giants. Some will see the Seahawks and Rams. The Built Ford Tough Fox NFL Sunday pregame show starts at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Quite the start on the road today for the Chicago Bears, on top in Seattle. 10-0 Chicago. And Robbie Gould kicks it away. Nate Burleson again from the 10. Trying to get outside. Burleson is arm tackled by Adejamo. Hasselbeck and company go to work, down 10-0 early.
This out. It's not very often you see a 6'6", 275-pound defensive lineman covering kickoffs. He goes down there and almost makes the play. Forces Nate Burleson to have to change directions. That's impressive.
Israel Adonijah looks like that big guy from the Dr. Pepper commercial doing all the push-ups and stuff.
There's a couple other guys we know like that, too.
Nickel package on the field for the Bears on 1st and 10, and the first down pass is incomplete, intended for DJ Hackett. You know, the protection issues today will be under a new focus for Matt Hasselbeck in Seattle. In 2 losses versus the Bears last year, Hasselbeck was dropped 8 times.
Yeah, and the Bears actually want Seattle to come out and throw the ball like they're doing today. They think that plays into their strength. Their front 4 guys can get up the field and pressure Matt Hasselbeck. They tried this in the first game last year. The Bears sacked him 5 times and had 2 turnovers.
4 wides for Seattle. Flag on the play. And the pass is batted down at the line of scrimmage. Mark Anderson got the big bear paw up there, no pun intended. And we'll check in on the penalty marker.
As you
At
see,
the snap, offside, number 99 in the neutral zone. 5 yards, 2nd down.
They get the tackle, Darwin Walker, on the penalty.
but those guys are ready to get off the ball and get up the field. They're in pass rush mode right now, and that's why the Seahawks, they've got to run some screens, they've got to run some draws to slow those guys down. If not, it's going to be tough on those tackles, in particular with those speed guys, Mark Anderson, Alex Brown, Adewale Ogunleye coming off the edges.
2nd and 5. The handoff is to Maurice Morris. And Morris is out to the 32 before being tackled by Lance Briggs. You know, so much has been made of Chicago's struggling running game. The Seahawks have had their trouble running the football as well.
Yeah, they have. And this Bears defense, those defensive linemen, they try to occupy the linemen so guys like Lance Briggs right there can just run freely side to side, both he and Brian Urlacher. And that's why those guys make so many tackles. It's because that front four, they occupy the offensive line.
3rd and 2, short yardage unit on the field. Play action. And the pass caught by Marcus Pollard, the ex-Colt, taken down at the 44 by Brandon McGowan. 1st down, Seattle. A 13-yard 3rd down pickup.
And this is why you have to establish the running game or the threat of it, because watch these guys. Watch their eyes on the play action, the run fake. Watch where they go. They fly to the run, and now you come back with the bootleg, and Pollard is open for a big game. They flow so quickly, but you've got to make them respect your running game first.
1st and 10. As Urlacher makes the call defensively for Chicago, they show 6 men up front, make that 7.
That's Brian Urlacher right there in the A-gap between the center and the guard.
Out of the shotgun, Hasselbeck's pass is caught by Bobby Ingram. So the wideout, who appears on both the Seahawks and Bears all-time receiving lists, moves it past midfield for Seattle.
And the key there is Brian Urlacher, Lance Briggs, those two guys, they'll jump up in the line of scrimmage in those A-gaps between the center and the guard. That forces Seattle to either check out of a play or their linemen have to block down. Sometimes they'll do that and they'll blitz. Sometimes they'll get up there and they'll drop in coverage. So it's kind of a chess game between Urlacher, Lance Briggs, and Matt Hasselbeck.
Weaver and Morris line up behind Hasselbeck, and see Hasselbeck checking out of a play now and dropping into the shotgun.
Yeah, to try to get away from that pressure inside.
Oh, look out. Corner blitz came and got him. It was Adam Archuleta from safety. In fact, the only NFL safety with at least 1 sack each year since 2001 drops Hasselbeck for the loss.
But what happens is they have to honor these guys in here. So all the linemen block down, and then you're going to see Archuleta. He's going to walk in right there, and now he's going to come off the edge unblocked. That's exactly what they want to get. The lineman turning down inside to block those backers. That leaves guys coming off the edge untouched. Seattle's got to either throw the ball quicker or make an adjustment to block it.
Seneca Wallace is split at the top of your screen. The pass is caught. DJ Hackett down midfield, taken down at the 35 by Brian Urlacher. First down, Seahawks. An 18-yard pickup.
You know, the one thing about this Seattle offense and the West Coast style that they run is they throw the ball quickly out of there. They don't really go down the field. So what you're going to see is a lot of these Bears jumping some of those shorter routes. You know, last week, Hasselbeck completed 27 passes. Only one went for over 20 yards. So they've got to loosen this defense up some.
Matt Hasselbeck very effective to start the game this afternoon. Play action and plenty of time. Now Hasselbeck flushed out and throws it incomplete, intended for Maurice Morris. Brian Urlacher had the coverage on Morris. You know, what you said earlier, JC, really comes down to being one of the keys here today, or any time a quarterback lines up against the Chicago defense. Matt Hasselbeck, very aware of it. It becomes a game of the quarterback versus Urlacher,
right.
Who's going to check in and out of the proper play.
Exactly. And, you know, a lot of times the Bears will fake and disguise that blitz jumping in the A-gap. What Seattle should do is start quick snapping them, because now those guys are going to get caught out of position if they are trying to drop into coverage.
A quick pass instead of the quick snap, caught by Deion Branch at the 30. Charles Tillman had the coverage for Chicago, a gain of 6.
You know, Hasselbeck and Holmgren are real glad that Deion Branch is back, number one, but it, you know, gives them the full complement of wide receivers. Deion's that wily veteran guy who's had a lot of success. Bobby Ingram just knows how to get open. DJ Hackett is the taller guy that can really run, probably the fastest. And then Nate Burleson is just a great athlete.
3 of the 4 receivers on the field here on 3rd and 4 for Seattle. Again, the Bears show blitz. Quick slant caught by Deion Branch. First down, Seattle, and so far Matt Hasselbeck has pressed all the right buttons.
Yeah, and again, you get those linebackers up in the line of scrimmage. Well, there's a lot of room inside, and watch Deion Branch. He just goes right now, jumps right inside of Charles Tillman, and it's an easy throw and catch. But look where the linebackers are. They're all up in here, so they can't drop. There's Archuleta up there. Now the middle of the field is wide open. Even though he takes a shot, he knows that if he gets it out in time, there's a lot of room.
Inside of 4 minutes in the first quarter. 10th play of the drive for Seattle. Play action with Morris. Down the middle, a wide open DJ Hackett. Touchdown, Seattle. A masterfully executed drive by Matt Hasselbeck. Josh Brown on for the point after. A drive that might have reminded some of Seattle's opening drive Monday against San Francisco. Matt Hasselbeck leading the charge, and Seattle's on the scoreboard. A touchdown drive that got Seattle on the board here moments ago. 10-7 Chicago. Seattle has not executed a lot of 10-play touchdown drives. In fact, they're among league trailers in that category. That was just their 6th of the year. Pro Bowl returner Devin Hester on to return the ground ball kickoff from Josh Brown. A chance at a return. Hester finds a crack in the coverage unit and is pushed out of bounds by the kicker at the Chicago 40.
You know, when we go back to that touchdown, Matt Hasselbeck does a great job of moving the defense with his eyes. Watch Urlacher in the middle, as well as Archuleta, Daniel Manning, the safety. Look how they all flow to the right side, opens up the middle of the field. And the reason why, watch Hasselbeck's eyes. He looks off to his left. They all just run out of there. It opens up the middle of the field for DJ Hackett in the touchdown. That's something that young quarterbacks don't do, is look off the defender.
Rex Grossman back to work for Chicago. Plenty of crowd noise here at Quest, and the first down reception is made for a first down. Plenty of yards after the catch for Bernard Berrien. Hard not to be impressed with the scoring drive engineered by Hasselbeck and the Seattle Seahawks. It ended with the Hackett 19-yard touchdown catch. Hasselbeck 6 of 8 on the touchdown drive. Meanwhile, Rex Grossman 4 of his first 5 passing this afternoon. With Clark in the backfield, the handoff is to Cedric Benson for a gain of a yard. Brandon Mebane, the rookie 3rd rounder out of Cal, made the tackle for Seattle. We mentioned how the Bears are almost at their per-game season rushing average today. Chicago, in not even a quarter's worth of football, has run for 66 yards. They're averaging 78 a game. Play action. Grossman hit as he throws, and the pass is incomplete, intended for the fullback Jason McKee. It was Patrick Kearney that made things uncomfortable for Grossman.
And Seattle wants to do exactly that, Matt, is make things uncomfortable for Rex Grossman. Watch Lofa Tatupu. He's going to come over. He's going to blitz on this side. They're just going to try to pressure Rex Grossman. They said that they don't want him to be comfortable. They want to make him have a bad day. And if they just let him sit back there, he'll have a good day on anyone.
Yeah, my correction. It was actually Kearney that dropped back into coverage, as there is an injured Seahawk on the play, Rocky Bernard. Rocky Bernard went helmet to helmet with his own teammate there. He and Julian Peterson met hat to hat, and Bernard, the guy that got the worst end of this, clearly.
And that'll be a big loss if he's not able to play, but it looks like he just got a little shaken up, walking off under his own power. But they need Rocky Bernard. He got a couple of sacks inside, and he's a good run stuffer, and obviously they haven't stopped the run very well so far in this game, but if he's not in there, it gets a little tougher for him.
So it brings up a 3rd and 9 for Chicago. The Bears have struggled on 3rd down this year, converting at just a 36%, ranks 25th in the league. Grossman out of the shotgun. Pass caught by the tight end Greg Olsen, shy of a Chicago first down. Deion Grant had the coverage for Seattle.
And again, they bring the pressure to try to force Grossman to get rid of the ball sooner than he wants to, and that's why he has to throw it to the check down guy, which was Greg Olsen, the tight end.
Bobby Ingram is deep for the punt by Brad Maynard. Ingram's going to let this one go, hoping it gets into the end zone. As it does, Seattle will take over at the 20. We've already seen a number of the options on the field at receiver for Seattle, including Seneca Wallace. But as we mentioned when we signed on today, with the top 4 receivers all healthy and out there this afternoon, Branch, Ingram, Hackett, and Burleson, it reminds a lot of people of the nickname that was coined for these guys during camp. People were calling them the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Well, that's not what they call themselves. Deion Branch said they refer to themselves as the Blue Man Group because none of them talk, but they all make a lot of things happen on the field.
And they put on a great show, as the Blue Man Group does so well. And that's what they would prefer to be. Quiet, unassuming, but put on a great show.
Hasselbeck has used 6 different receivers already today and not even a full quarter. And there's DJ Hackett. He's been busy this afternoon. Charles Tillman had the coverage, a gain of 8.
You know, everybody thinks that the Bears play cover 2 all the time, and that's not really the case, especially on early downs, first and second downs. They play a lot of cover 3. They'll try to zone blitz, but what that does is it opens up the throwing lanes outside. When you play cover 2, those corners can sit down because they don't have to go deep and jump all those short routes. So, surprised I'm not seeing more cover 2.
Hand off to Maurice Morris. Morris has had a great opening quarter at home. Tackled at the 36 by Danielle Manning. A 9-yard pickup and a Seattle first down.
And that's right there what they said about Maurice Morris. He's going to make one cut and get up the field. He's not going to dance around a lot, and so it's a little bit easier for these offensive linemen. They can fire off, get into their guy because he's through the hole so quickly.
Under 30 seconds and ticking here to wind up the first quarter. Ingram in motion on first down. And Hasselbeck finds Hackett once again, tackled immediately by Brian Urlacher. A 3-yard pickup on what will be our final play of the quarter. Plenty of scoring in the opening quarter in Seattle. 10-7 Chicago. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after the
Seahawks, 16 passes, only 3 runs. That emphasis started last week against San Francisco. Mike Holmgren said, hey, we're not running the ball very well right now. We're going to do what we do best, and that's throwing it. They've done a good job of it the last couple of weeks.
2nd and 7 for Seattle to open the second quarter, and down goes Hasselbeck. Darwin Walker got in there untouched for Chicago.
Darwin Walker just comes off the ball. Watch him right here. Again, look at Urlacher in there. Kind of messes up the blocking because now Rob Sims blocks down. Walter Jones doesn't follow him. Walter Jones just sticks a hand out. Nobody blocks inside Darwin Walker. You got to protect the inside because that's the quickest way to the quarterback, starting from the inside. You got to make those guys have to run around the edge to get to your quarterback.
Loss of 9 on the play, 3rd and long now. Bears started play 2nd in the NFL in sacks. And Hasselbeck gets the pass off to Deion Branch, one that'll fall well shy of a Seattle first down.
You know, Chris Spencer in the shotgun, they haven't done a lot of it. They started it last week on Monday night against San Francisco, and on the first snap of the game, Chris Spencer didn't get the ball high enough. He hit his own rear end, and they almost lost the ball. But it's all on Matt Hasselbeck. If he wants to get back there, he can do it, but they've got to make sure they get the snap right.
Devin Hester might have a chance at a return here, and it's a short kick. Hester's got to let it bounce. And that's a live ball. Chicago recovers. We've already seen an official signal, despite what Julian Peterson's doing on the sideline, politicking for Seattle. Interesting special teams already this afternoon.
Almost a critical mistake for the Chicago Bears, but this is Devin Hester's fault. As soon as he can't get to that ball, he's got to yell, poison, poison. That tells all of his guys, just get away. Just run away. don't worry about blocking anybody, but Ricky Manning doesn't hear it, and that ball hits him, and the Bears almost have a critical turnover there.
1st and 10 for Chicago. And the first down handoff lets the Nets very little as Adrian Peterson gets a rare first down chance to carry the football. Something Lovie Smith told us yesterday will happen this afternoon.
Yeah, they want to try to get him some carries and see if he can jumpstart the running game, but the running game's already jump-started. Cedric Benson did that on their first drive, that 43-yard touchdown run. So, they're just going to spell Benson, I guess, at this point.
So formerly just a third down back, Adrian Peterson, and the rookie Garrett Wolf. They'll both get action at tailback with Benson today. Pass caught at the 32-yard line by Muhsin Muhammad. Is this the kind of offense you expected when we started this game already today?
No. And for the Bears, I'm sure they didn't expect it, even though they wanted it, this type of offense. They had to start fast, get some points on the board, and that's what they did. Came out, established the run with Cedric Benson, and now they can work off of that. And that's the way the Bears like to play offense. They start the running game. They're a running football team. Then the play-action pass. Now they'll eventually start to take some shots down the field. And when they do that, they'll look for Bernard Berry.
On 3rd and short, the nickel package on the field for Seattle. Grossman looks for Berrien, and the pass is broken up. It was Marcus Trufant, the Tacoma native and Washington State grad, that came up with the stop.
And this is just man-to-man. And watch Trufant stay square right here, get his hands on him, and now he's able to come back, get that right hand in there, and knock that ball away.
Held the first 3 and out by either side all afternoon. And Brad Maynard is on to punt it away to Nate Burleson. Burleson signals fair catch at the 27, and that's where the Seattle offense will go back to work. Things like that. Commissioner Goodell is on hand today and being entertained by the Seahawks chairman.
Going back a ways, huh?
I almost said Pete Rozelle, too.
Name them all.
Kind of a time warp today.
You'll get it right eventually.
First down pass is caught by Bobby Ingram. A 12-yard pickup and another Seattle first down.
With Matt Hasselbeck, he's so good as a quarterback. He's like a coach on the field. He reads defenses well, and if you don't get pressure on him, he's going to find an open receiver. And right now, the Bears haven't gotten enough pressure on him from that last drive until now that he's able to settle in. He's getting comfortable, and he's starting to find the holes in this zone.
Matt Hasselbeck 6 for his last 6. Nickel package on the field for Chicago.
Forcing the check out of it.
Maurice Morris. And again, Hasselbeck calls the proper play. Urlacher making the tackle for the Bears.
And again, I told you Matt Hasselbeck, he's like a coach on the field. He sees him in there, watch him check. Urlacher checks out of it defensively, then they just run power. Urlacher's able to just slide down the line of scrimmage and make that tackle, but really he should have been blocked by Rob Sims. If he gets blocked right there, there's some room to run.
On 2nd and 5, Leonard Weaver enters at fullback in place of Marcus Pollard. Again, the nickel package on the field for the Bears. They're changing the call again. Maurice Morris. First down, Seattle.
Matt, you made a good point that they've got their nickel package on the field. So Ricky Manning Jr., number 24, comes on. They take off Hunter Hillenmeyer, their starting linebacker. So now it makes it easier to run on him. Ricky Manning, he's a physical guy, good tackler, but he's a defensive back. Hunter Hillenmeyer led this team in tackles last week against the Raiders. So this plays into the Seahawks' game plan to get Hillenmeyer off. Now we can run it.
It has been a fascinating chess match so far. Pass caught at the sideline by DJ Hackett. And JC, with all this calling and checking and changing at the line of scrimmage, we haven't even talked about the potential for dummy calls.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to do some of those offensively and defensively, because you can't let any one side get a bead on what your live check is. And I know as a defensive player, we used to try to get a beat on that early. Now when you know that live check is coming, now we used to check into something else and take that away. So it's a chess match between those two guys, Urlacher and Hasselbeck. It'll go on all day today.
So far, advantage Hasselbeck. Again, the nickel package out there for Chicago. And the pass is incomplete. Fans calling for interference. Tremaine McBride had the coverage on DJ Hackett. No flag on the play.
You know, he sees that he has single coverage outside, and he checks to it, and DJ Hackett is going to run this stop fade right here, and the ball has to actually be on Hackett's back shoulder. So the ball was a little off there by Hasselbeck on that particular pattern.
See, Tommy Harris has just checked back in defensively for Chicago. And a whistle. Flags all over the field. A while for the officials to sort this one out.
There is no foul for delay game as the timeout was called prior to the delay game. Timeout, Seattle.
Pay no attention to the penalty marker as Seattle got the timeout in before the flags flew. Seattle is the least penalized team in the all year, second fewest in the NFL. The back of the nickel package are the Bears. 4 wides for Seattle. Good protection for Hasselbeck. Pass is incomplete, intended for Leonard Weaver. So the drive stalls 5 plays in, and that'll bring on the second-year punter Ryan Plakemeyer. Another shot perhaps for Devin Hester. I think there are a lot of Seattle fans that would just as soon see Plakemeyer punt this one to Canada than give Hester a chance to bring it back. Pressure. And a big punt indeed. Hester's got a call for the fair catch as he lets it bounce out of bounds at the 5. A job well done by the Wake Forest man. Waved off, not fair catched or caught. The Bears are going to start with their worst field position of the afternoon, just inside the 5-yard line. Rocky Bernard is back on the field for Seattle. And a handoff to the fullback, Jason McKee, results in a loss of yards on first down. Leroy Hill and company there to answer the call defensively for the Seahawks.
Yeah, and this is a part of the football field where if you're a linebacker, you're coming downhill right at the snap because the odds of a team trying to throw the ball down here is very little. And if they do it, it'll be off a play action fake. But you know on first down, they're probably going to try to run the ball. Now on 2nd and 10, now the pass is more of a probability.
Benson. A little breathing room as he's close to a first down marker. Deion Grant made the tackle for Seattle. A gain of 8 that'll bring up 3rd and 2.
See some extracurricular activity going on down there. You know, this game is turning into be a physical game. You know, obviously it's an important game for both of these teams. Right now is a big moment for them. You see some extra pushing, some extra shoving.
You know, it's turned into a great rivalry.
Yeah.
You know, one that was
in a short time.
Last year, in a very short time,
yeah.
You bet. On 3rd and 3. Grossman for the sidelines, incomplete. A flag is down on the play. That was intended for Greg Olsen.
Illegal formation. Offense. Only 6 men on the end of the line. Penalty declined. 4th down.
So Chicago will go 3 and out for their 2nd straight possession.
You see these guys up here, those 2 receivers at the top. One of those guys has to be up on the line of scrimmage. Both of those guys were off.
Nate Burleson with a shot at a return. Short punt by Brad Maynard. It bounces and Burleson picks up on a couple of hops. And he dances out of bounds at the 48. A late shot and a flag.
We talked about it starting to get heated out here.
Fans reacting to the replay here in-house.
Personal foul on the kicking team. Late hit out of bounds. 15 yards from the end of the run. 1st down, Seattle.
They got Rod Wilson right there, number 59.
Great field position for Seattle.
Wilson, this is not even close. Number 59, when Burleson goes out of bounds, he's 3 yards away. Look at him right there, and he's just going to continue on and hit Burleson right there. And all of his players, Corey Graham, everybody's looking at him like, what are you doing?
Well, a big run back and a penalty starts the Seattle drive at the Chicago 32. Play action. And Hasselbeck's going to keep it and tuck it away, and he gets inside the 30, out of bounds at the 27-yard line as Urlacher moved him out of bounds after a 5-yard pickup.
And, you know, special teams are so important, and a lot of people overlook them. You know, that penalty on Wilson gave Seattle great field position here. Remember to start the game. Seattle tried to kick away from Devin Hester, didn't do it successfully, or they did it successfully, but it backfired on them as Chicago got great field position, went down and scored a touchdown. You know, field position is crucial in these games, especially against 2 good teams.
It has been pass first for Seattle as advertised again today. Not lost on the Bears. They've got the nickel package on the field on 2nd and 5. And Hasselbeck's got to throw it away. A good decision to get rid of it. It was Ricky Manning that came in from the corner that applied the pressure. Ricky Manning Jr. had a couple of big games against Seattle last year. In fact, 3 of his 5 interceptions last season came at Matt Hasselbeck's expense, including a big one in that division playoff matchup. Amazingly this season, 0 interceptions by a Bears corner. 3rd and 5 now. And Hasselbeck swings it out to his fullback. Leonard Weaver is knocked out of bounds at the 1st down marker. 1st and 10, Seattle.
Yeah, he goes against the rookie out there, Tremaine McBride, the corner, who's in there playing for Nathan Basher. And I don't think McBride wanted to hit big Leonard Weaver. Watch at the end of this play. I mean, this is a kill shot. He can blow him up. He just kind of jumps over him and tries to push him out of bounds, and Weaver just drops that shoulder on him.
Seahawks keep it on the ground. Mo Morris. How do you like it? How do you like it? Mo. A 19-yard touchdown run.
I see you breaking out the Bee Gees. Was that the Bee Gees?
No, but that's okay.
Yeah, who was it?
Some 70s disco group. The bloggers are online right now killing us for it.
No, I remember the song. Appropriately used, too, by the way.
2nd straight game with a touchdown for Maurice Morris. A 4-play touchdown drive. And Seattle takes its first lead of the afternoon. With Sean Alexander dinged up, the Seahawks running game is in good hands. It's been talked about throughout the last couple of weeks, and Mike Holmgren told us that his former league MVP, Sean Alexander, has been a lightning rod for criticism in this city, and it's something that makes that argument even louder when Mo Morris has big nights.
It's going to get a lot louder and a lot worse. Everybody's going to want Mo Morris to stay in there because he's having some success. But I'll tell you what, the guy that made that play was Leonard Weaver. We saw him catch the little swing pass, the check down, get up the field for the first down. The very next play, he's the lead blocker for Mo Morris, goes in there and wipes out Lance Briggs, allows Mo Morris to get into the end zone. Watch Leonard Weaver, 43, just going to come in here. He's going to just push Lance Briggs by right there. Urlacher's not quick enough to get over there, and Mo Morris jumps through that hole. Again, watch again. Leonard Weaver, good job jumping on Lance Briggs right there, widening that hole. Mo Morris just hits it.
Well, a couple of offense that had struggled running the football through 10 weeks of the season have found their ground attacks today. Here's Devin Hester across the 30. And somebody finally wraps up Hester at the 40-yard line. Brian Russell, who was the last San Diego State Aztec to quarterback the team to a bowl game, makes the tackle rather on special teams. As we check in on the field with Danielle Sargent.
Thanks a lot, guys. You know, something about the field isn't sitting well with the Seahawks linebackers. I just saw Lofa Tatupu and Julian Peterson changing shoes over here on the bench. Guys?
Danielle, thanks. And, you know, they expected rain today. So far, it's been a dry surface that might have something to do with the change of footwear. Adrian Peterson in the backfield. And after play action, Grossman's pass is caught by the fullback, Jason McKee, tackled by Marcus Trufant. You're familiar with this part of the world?
Yeah, I am.
From your college days.
Yeah,
what about the turf today that might be of note?
Well, you know, sometimes well, all the time it rains up here in Seattle, but you'll wear one kind of spike anticipating rain, and then if you don't get rain, you want to go to something shorter so you don't dig in so much and you can move a lot quicker. And that's probably what those guys did.
Play action again. Grossman finds an open target. Bernard Berrien, his favorite, and Berrien hauls it in at the 37. First down, Chicago.
Again, you know, with Rex Grossman back in there, Matt, that's what this offense, it changes a little bit in the way they do things. They're able to throw the ball down the field. That's his strength. He told us, hey, that's the way he plays sport. You know, when he played baseball, he swung for the fences. Played basketball, he shot the three-pointer. And in football, he likes to throw the ball down the field.
The pitch back to Adrian Peterson. And Peterson breaks it inside the 35. This February, Fox takes center stage for two of sports' biggest events. First, the 2008 Sprint Cup begins with the 50th running of the Daytona 500. And then the NFL crowns its new champ in Super Bowl 42. February, Fox is once again home for sports' greatest moments. Second and 6. A two tight end set on the field for Rex Grossman. And he's doing his best, Matt Hasselbeck, changing the play. Play action again. He swings it out to the tight end, Greg Olson. And the rookie first rounder is taken out of bounds at the 24. A 9-yard gain for Chicago and a Bears first down.
Yeah, but this was just a blown coverage by the Seahawks. Deion Grant, number 24, not sure where to go. You can see a lot of confusion here. Then he just jumps up there. There's nobody behind him on this side of the field. You can see Grossman and Olsen, those guys see it, they just check to it, they throw to that side of the field. Just a lot of miscommunication by Seattle.
On first down, Grossman steps up and dumps it off to Berrien, who is sandwiched inside the 20.
Yeah. You got to know when to get down. On those short crossers and check downs, you know those defensive linemen, those linebackers, they are going to come back and make the play. Listen to this.
Marcus Trufant and Darryl Tapp.
Yeah. Oh, those linemen, they love that. they love to be able to come back and catch those little wide receivers, those short crossing patterns. You know, the guy, Muhsin Muhammad, they've got to get him involved in this offense.
Devin Hester split at the bottom of the screen. The handoff to Adrian Peterson. No gain on the play. You know, back to Rex Grossman for a moment. We have sung the praises of Matt Hasselbeck today and his ability to read coverages and change the play. We talked to Rex Grossman about that very issue yesterday, and a lot of his ability to do that goes back to his college days under Steve Spurrier.
Yeah, no question, because they threw the ball so much. As you see him working on Hasselbeck's back right there, that oblique muscle. But yeah, Rex Grossman in college under Steve Spurrier there at Florida, they threw the ball all the time, so he became proficient in reading defenses and coverages. And you know, he said he'll check off today when he gets the right coverage.
Surveyed the coverage here, and the quick slant is caught by the rookie tight end. I'm not sure how Greg Olsen was able to get under that football, but he hangs on for the quick reception.
Yeah, Greg Olsen is a good receiving tight end. You know, he didn't catch any balls last week, but the previous 4 weeks he was their leading receiver. Had 19 catches, more than anybody on this Bears team. You know, they've got to continue to get him involved in the passing game, but also Muhsin Muhammad. He's a big guy, especially against these smaller cornerbacks. He's more physical than those guys, and he can outmuscle them, especially here in the red zone.
Well, in this day and age of first down marker technology with the yellow line, a rare measurement and one that will find a first down for Chicago. This will be the 8th play of the drive coming up for the Bears.
And you got to give Rex Grossman some credit. You know, the knock on him when he got benched is he couldn't move this offense. It was stagnant. He was turning the ball over, and you know, he's done a good job. And I think part of that is the way his mentality is. He's like, what can they do to me now? I'm just going to go play football. They've already benched me, so I'm just going to go play freely.
Still working on Matt Hasselbeck on the Seattle sideline. 1st and 10. Peterson, the ball carrier. And he is met after a gain of maybe a yard. You know, we take a look at Matt Hasselbeck getting worked on the Seattle sideline, and you saw that hand up the back of his jacket. It looked like Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy over there on the sideline. And it looks like Matt is at least free of the trainer's handful, as we've reached the 2-minute warning here in Seattle.
Emphasis on throwing the ball so much now.
You bet. Rex Grossman, meanwhile, 5 of 5 on the drive for 43 yards. Make it 6 for 6 as the quick pass is caught by Bernard Berrien. Well, again, another play involving Matt Hasselbeck that illustrates his discomfort on the right side of the body. And we'll see if that becomes an issue in the second half. Inside a minute and a half. 2 tight ends set on the field for Chicago. Adrian Peterson, touchdown Chicago. The Bears' second rushing touchdown of the afternoon. A 5-yard run by Adrian Peterson, his first TD of the season.
Yeah, a couple good blocks, too. Desmond Clark just motions back into the backfield, and now it's a full house backfield set. Both he and Jason McKee just power inside. Clears the way.
Robbie Gould out for the point after try. As our score continues to flip-flop in Seattle, it's Chicago back out on top. 1:16 left in the half.
Yeah, good drive, but a couple good blocks. Again, these guys are just going to come and block inside. You're going to see Clark. There's McKee. Now Desmond Clark, 88, just clears it out for Adrian Peterson. Get another look. It's that inside lead play out of that full house backfield set, but a great drive by the Bears, taking the ball down the field. You know, they told us that they started to feel like they're getting back to where they expected to be. And, you know, both offensively and defensively, they've got guys healthy now. They're getting their full guys back, their complement of guys, and they look good today.
You know, speaking from the big picture standpoint, Seattle plays in a much weaker division, the NFC West, with the likes of St. Louis and San Francisco. Though they are atop the division, this is no less an important game for Mike Holmgren.
Yeah, but a much bigger game for Chicago because they're down there. You know, they're battling for a wild card spot. They're probably not going to win the North with Green Bay. You know, obviously coming into today at 8-1, they've got a ways to go. But you know, all you want to do is get into the dance.
You know, Lance Briggs told us last week in Oakland that our playoffs have begun already in week 10.
Yeah, Muhsin Muhammad said the same thing.
A minute 16 left in the half, and the kickoff bounces out of bounds. A reminder to join us at halftime. Stay with us for the Visa halftime report. Kurt, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy have scores and highlights from around the league, and the Fox Sports ticker keeps you up to date with scores and stats. And included in the highlights, Green Bay's win over Carolina at Lambeau. Lions lose at home to the G-Men. All of interest to Lovie Smith and Bears fans everywhere.
Yeah, you don't want to give the ball to the Seahawks on the 40-yard line. You got to kick the ball down the field. I mean, you give this offense the ball at the 40, you know, you're asking for trouble. You put a lot of pressure on your defense.
Hasselbeck will work out of the shotgun with just over a minute before halftime. Dances away from pressure and finds an open target at midfield. Bobby Ingram. First down, Seattle.
And there again, and what they're doing is they're so conscious because we're under 2 minutes that they're playing pass defense. Everybody's dropping out of there. They don't rush a lot of guys, so the Seahawks are able to block those guys. You know, Matt Hasselbeck does a great job with his feet, but now they open up down the field. And a great job right there because he sees those guys in the A gaps, so he runs off tackle, and now those guys can't flow down the field or to the sidelines and then make the tackle.
And Hasselbeck is in hurry-up mode. Clock ticking with 44 seconds to go. He steps up and swings it out to the fullback once again. Leonard Weaver knocking people down.
Yeah. He's dishing out the punishment. He's not taking it. But again, Matt Hasselbeck, great job sliding away from the pressure.
This all started with the kickoff that bounced out of bounds and gave the Seahawks the football with plenty of time at the 40-yard line.
Great field position. You can't do that to a good offense. You know, again, I keep saying it, but it just puts too much pressure on your defense. I mean, even though they want to be a great defense, they struggled some this year defensively, and not the defense that they were last year.
Mike Holmgren has a timeout to work with. And 25 seconds with the ball at the 22 and a half. 4 wides on 3rd and 8. Touchdown pass dropped by DJ Hackett. Oh, wow.
Yeah, they saved that play for the right time, though. You know, they ran this in practice a lot on Friday, and you know what they want to do is just try to get down the middle of the seam. They play a lot of cover two. The soft spot is inside. That's a ball that DJ Hackett's got to catch.
Boy, and Matt Hasselbeck knew that was his second touchdown gimme of the game. This is Josh Brown for the field goal, and Brown is good from 40 yards away. Seattle is able to pull even with 17 seconds left here in the half, and Matt Hasselbeck is still shaking his head of what could have been on that drive.
Yeah, and what should have been. You know, that's a catch that DJ Hackett's got to make. And remember in practice on Friday, Matt.
Wild one in Cincinnati today. Overtime in Baltimore where the Browns stay hot. Dante Culpepper's return to Minneapolis. All that coming up on the Visa halftime show. Devin Hester is deep. We'll see if Josh Brown gives him an opportunity. Ground ball up the middle. It's Rashid Davis that picks it up. And he's tackled shy of the 40-yard line. Well, Chicago got on the scoreboard first this afternoon, and for the first time all year, they put up points on their opening drive. A masterfully directed running attack. When they started with great field position, it was all Cedric Benson on their first drive. And since then, Rex Grossman has played very well. 12 of 16, over 100 yards. We've got Benson in the backfield here with 11 seconds left, and the Bears will take no chances. An exciting first half of football here in Seattle, 17-17, as they get into the locker rooms at half. The Visa Halftime Report is coming up next. We pick up the third quarter back with J.C. Pearson, Matt Vasgersian. Both quarterbacks playing well today, but some things happening today that haven't necessarily happened for both offenses. Each team has directed a 10-play scoring drive. That hasn't happened much. And both teams running the football very well.
Yeah, and that's the key for both teams is running the football. The Bears obviously are a running team. They haven't done that well all year. Today they got that going. And then the first half was Cedric Benson. And then for the Seahawks, they've gone to their more emphasis on passing because they haven't been able to run the ball. And Maurice Morris has done a great job so far this first half. So that's why these offenses are playing better than they have.
The Seahawks receive the opening kick for the second half. There goes Nate Burleson. Gold can't knock him down. And finally taken down at midfield by Tremaine McBride is Nate Burleson after a 44-yard kick return.
You know, Nate Burleson, he wanted to play well today in the return game. So much focus on Devin Hester, and, you know, Burleson's pretty darn good himself. You know, those guys are probably the top two guys in the NFC, so he wanted to come out and make a statement. And, you know, he's a strong kid. Watch him run through that would-be tackle by Gold. Burleson gives him great field position.
At midfield is where the Seahawks will go on offense to begin the third quarter. Pass caught by DJ Hackett as we check in with Danielle Sargent.
Thanks a lot, guys. I talked to Coach Lovie Smith at the halftime, and he said that he was really impressed by the way that Rex Grossman managed the game in the first half. He also said that he liked the way that his team was able to spark the offense early. That's something that they haven't done in recent weeks. Coach Holmgren, on the other hand, wasn't so happy with his special teams. He said in the second half they were going to kick it deep. On the other hand, looking at the Bears offensively, he said nothing they did surprised him. He said they scored early and they scored late, but in between he felt that his defense was good. He said, quote, "It's going to be one of those games." JC, Matt, what does that mean?
Well, Danielle, I'm not sure what it means, but I think what Mike Holmgren meant by the Bears thing was that the Bears are who we thought they were.
They are who we thought they were.
Oh,
that will live on forever.
I just live for opportunities to use that, I'm telling you.
Yeah. Denny's very happy with you right now.
Third and
wherever
one.
he is.
The handoff is to Maurice Morris, and he's tackled shy of the first down. On third and short, Chicago answers the call. Boy, and that has to be pleasing, not so much to Mike Holmgren, but to Lovie Smith. That is vintage Bears football there, stopping on third and short. First half stats. Look at the total yards, 227 for Seattle, 185 for Chicago.
Yeah, and that's, you know, they're on track to have both of their best games offensively this year.
The fantasy update for the latest in fantasy numbers. Log on to foxsports.com or NFL.com as they bring the markers out. And indeed, Seattle is short.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Mike Holmgren's not going for it right here. You know, he looks like he's calling the play. You know, but that's his style. He's an aggressive coach. He's going to go for it whenever he feels like there's an opportunity. And obviously, if you can't get a half a yard, you know, even with your running game playing much better and struggling, you got a big, strong fullback, Leonard Weaver, you can just pound that ball in there.
Seattle on fourth down conversion tries this year, 2 of 8. Defensively, Chicago 2 of 2.
Yeah, and don't be surprised here with Matt Hasselbeck maybe checking out and running a play action pass. Now, obviously the Bears, those linebackers are going to be jumping up in the line.
reception. First down, Seattle. Marcus Pollard brings it down to the Chicago 20.
Yeah, I just said that because Matt Hasselbeck, he's so smart that he knows a 4th and inches that those backers are going to be jumping up in the line of scrimmage. So you just run a little play action. Now Marcus Pollard leaks out and he's wide open. Now they've got a great play, and look at Holmgren. Yep. He knows.
Just like he drew it up, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's how it's supposed to work.
A 20-yard gain on 4th and inches. And Marcus Pollard has returned from that minor knee surgery to put together a couple of good games. Out of the shotgun again. Hasselbeck with time. And that one caught by DJ Hackett, who, despite the drop touchdown prior to halftime, is in the midst of a big afternoon here at home.
You know, DJ Hackett, he's their biggest wide receiver. He can also run down the field, might be their fastest guy too. But all he has to do is just get his body between the defensive back and the ball. And now it's a good target for Matt Hasselbeck to throw to.
DJ Hackett with a game-high 7 receptions and 74 yards. First and goal. Out of the shotgun again. And that one incomplete, intended for Bobby Ingram. Looked like the ex-Bear was running a different route than what Hasselbeck intended.
You know, with this offense and Matt Hasselbeck, they're taking their time. Normally they're a fast-paced offense, but right now they're letting the play clock run all the way down so Matt Hasselbeck can see exactly what's going on with this defense. Are they jumping in the gaps? Are they dropping off? He's taking as much time as he can to read the defense pre-snap.
Seattle has scored touchdowns on each of their 2 previous red zone journeys. The handoff to Morris gets him inside the 5. Through the first 9 weeks of the season, Seattle's red zone touchdown percentage was not good. 10 TDs in 23 trips. It changed on Monday against San Francisco. 3 touchdowns in 4 trips to the red zone. And so far today, they've been perfect, 2 for 2.
Yeah, much more impressive today doing it against the Bears than doing it against the 49ers. That's for sure.
Hasselbeck steps up, dumps it off. Touchdown, Seahawks. Oh, that was Favre-like.
Now, Hasselbeck-like, he does that as well as anybody. He creates, he throws the ball sidearm, he keeps his eyes down the field. And, you know, that's vintage Matt Hasselbeck.
Nate Burleson's 4th touchdown catch of the season. And Josh Brown comes out for the point after. Boy, the Blue Men group is playing in front of a rather pleased home crowd in Seattle here this afternoon. Burleson shining on that last touchdown drive by Seattle. Seattle takes a 24-17 lead with 11:05 left here in the 3rd quarter. Well, Burleson started it with the fine return, and he capped it off with the touchdown grab. So Devin Hester will try to answer for visiting Chicago. And that one's headed to Oregon. Hester makes the return start at the goal line. Oh, there he goes. And it's Josh Brown that takes him down WWE style.
Yeah. Like, you're not going to mess up my average.
Nate Burleson's return and touchdown catch has Seattle on top by 7. Touchdown catch that has put Seattle on top here in the 3rd quarter. Grossman starts with play action, and down he goes. Leroy Hill missed Monday's game with a hamstring problem. And it's Hill that comes in to drop Grossman on 1st down.
We're going to watch Hill right there, number 56. Just a little delayed blitz right inside. And McKee's not fast enough to get over there and block it. Looked like McKee had his eyes in the wrong spot and didn't see Hill until the last second. It's too late.
A 10-yard loss on Seattle's first sack of the ball game. Benson tackled at the 23 by Julian Peterson. And everybody seems to be alive here, including the kicker.
Yeah, you know, the field position is key. And Josh Brown just jogging down. He's the safety. Now he just sees Devin Hester breaking out. He's going to go make the play. Look at him. Drills him down. Now look at him.
Step into a
Like
sledgehammer.
What? Bring it on. But you know what, Devin Hester, he's going to get a lot of heat in the locker room. Like, how do you let a kicker bring you down? That's what the Devin Hester's going to hear.
3rd and 14, the dime unit on the field for Seattle defensively, and the pass is incomplete, intended for Rasheed Davis. The Bears go 3 and out. You know, for an outdoor stadium, this place gets so doggone loud for a visiting offense. And Josh Brown, Nate Burleson, everybody really playing a part in getting the crowd into this one.
He's got a chance.
Burleson at the 31. And nowhere to go. A return of 3 yards. 24-17 Seattle. 6 left in the 3rd quarter. Seattle goes to work offensively on top by a touchdown. Maurice Morris has run for 59 yards through the first half plus. Hasselbeck has to tuck it away, and down he goes. Flag on the play, and the ball's out. Matt Hasselbeck got smoked. And Chicago has recovered. Again, there is a flag on the play.
Yeah, it's big. Where they threw that flag, it's normally on an offensive lineman. And that's why Chicago...
Holding. Number 62 offense. That penalty is declined. Result of the play, the ruling is a fumble recovered by Chicago. 1st and 10.
Despite the rare hold by Seattle, Chris Gray flagged. Hasselbeck fumbles the football, and Chicago takes over.
Yeah, Goulier just falling back on the rush and just strips that ball out of Matt Hasselbeck's hands.
Let me tell you, Alex Brown, very fortunate that Brian Urlacher was there as he was rolling around on the ground.
Yeah, they're trying to get up to the line and snap the ball before Seattle has a chance to, if they want to challenge this. I don't think there's any reason to.
No challenge flag as Grossman on play action throws it incomplete, intended for Muhsin Muhammad, and a flag on the play. Marcus Trufant had the coverage.
They just got tied up down the field.
Pass, illegal contact, number 23 defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic, 1st down.
Yeah, Muhsin Muhammad with that big body. I said earlier in the game, they've got to go to him because he's got the advantage over these smaller defensive backs. See them out here, he's just going to come down and run this in route. Right there, you can see the grab by Marcus Trufant down the field. They're going to call that every time. It's an easy call.
Only 1 catch for Muhsin Muhammad this afternoon for 8 yards. 1st and 10, Chicago now from the 34 of the Seahawks. 2 tight end set. Benson still on his feet and inside the 30-yard line, tackled by Deion Grant.
You know, Cedric Benson today is running with a lot more authority than we've seen him run. You see right there, came in averaging 3 yards a rush, and today they're at 6.8, which is big for this offense, who is a running offense. So they got to have that kind of production. But Cedric Benson got his shoulder square, came downhill with a lot of authority, and ran through a couple guys.
Bears are en route to a season-high rushing yardage game. 107 their previous high. They've run for 89 today, and Benson is met for a loss. Darryl Tapp drops him behind the line of scrimmage as we check in with our run stuffer, Kurt Menefee.
You're a funny one there, Matt. Hey, nothing to laugh about in Dallas if you're a Cowboy fan or a Redskin fan. It's T.O. with a 31-yard reception from Tony Romo. Cowboys go on top 14-10. Let's send it back to Matt and JC. No more funny stuff from you, Matt.
I know I've set myself up. Kurt always has the last laugh, so
you know,
he's going to get me.
The next game break, be ready, Matt. He'll come back with something.
On 3rd and 7, the nickel package checks in for Seattle. Quick pass caught by Bernard Berrien. He tried to lean forward for a first down. Kelly Jennings had the coverage, and we'll see where they mark it.
You know, we've seen them run this play a number of times, and all it is just the wide receiver jumping inside the corner. And it's an easy, quick throw for Rex Grossman, but you would think that Seattle would start playing that. So by that, what I mean is their cornerbacks got to get up there, be more aggressive inside. Look right there. Kelly Jennings, he stops, he hesitates, just allows Bernard Berrien to just continue to run inside of him, and you're never going to stop that unless you're more aggressive.
You know, Chicago hasn't won in Seattle since 1976. And this game is starting to look like something torn from the 70s with all the measurements we've seen on the field. The Bears do convert, and it's 1st and 10 Chicago from the Seattle 24. Again, you hear the fans reacting here in-house to the replay being shown. And we've got a red challenge flag on the field. They're going to take a look at this spot once again. You know, Mike Holmgren, almost like he was tossing salt over his shoulder, threw that red flag from behind.
And see where he comes down. And
Seattle is challenging the ruling on the play of a first down.
Coach Holmgren
viewing the play. The runner's knee was down. It will be 4th and 1 on the left hash, 25-yard line. Seattle is not charged with the timeout.
Yeah, great call. Look, the knee is down right there. Look where the ball is. Definitely short of the first down marker. As he continues to go, it looks like he's beyond that, but the knee was down beforehand, and as soon as that knee goes down, play's over.
So it brings up 4th and 1. The offense stays on the field for Chicago.
Hey, if you call yourself a power running football team, you've got to be able to convert these 4th and shorts.
The Bears are an NFL worst 1 of 5 on 4th down. Stuffed short. Seattle takes over on downs.
Wow.
That play never had a chance.
No. Great penetration up front by Seattle. That Seattle defense, and Brandon Mebane, number 92, did a great job of establishing or reestablishing the line of scrimmage, getting that push. Also, Craig Terrell playing that nose guard. Those guys had tremendous amount of push. Allowed Tupu and Hill to make that play.
1st and 10 for Seattle. They take over at the 25-yard line. And Hasselbeck has to get out of harm's way. And he finally throws it away before Tommy Harris can hurt him.
Going back to that 4th down stop. Watch these guys, Terrell and Brandon Mebane. Watch the penetration, how strong they are at the point of attack. They just cave it all down. That allows Leroy Hill, Lofa Tupu, they're unblocked. Now they just can come down and just meet Cedric Benson right in the hole. That's how you play short yardage, goal line defense up front.
Second and 10 now. Play clock winding down, and Hasselbeck's got to spend a timeout. The Seahawks first here in the half. You know, we mentioned, JC, earlier that Seattle, though they play in the NFC West, it's a first-place ranking through 10 weeks, but nothing that the Seahawks are taking for granted. Arizona at 5-5. They were winners today in Cincinnati.
Yeah, and that's why, you know, it's a big game for Seattle still. You know, if they lose this game today, they go to 5-5, and now they're in a first-place tie with the Cardinals. So it's a huge game for both of these clubs to try to get back to where they're accustomed to being. You know, obviously you mentioned early in this game that, you know, these two teams are NFC champions the last 2 years.
And as balanced as the NFL and the NFC seems to be again this year, there's not a whole lot of balance in the NFC West because San Francisco and St. Louis are in the midst of one of the worst seasons in each of their franchise histories. It's a two-horse race in the West. 2nd and 10 with the nickel package on the field. Hasselbeck beats it on the quick slant caught by Deion Branch.
Same thing. When you have defensive backs that aren't aggressive bump and run guys, watch McBride. He just opens up, lets Deion Branch just jump inside of him. When you're playing up there and bump and run, that's why they call it bump and run. You're supposed to bump the guy. If you're just going to get up there and open up and run, they just call it run, bail.
You know, Mike Holmgren told us the thing that they missed most, not having Deion Branch the last 4 games, was that quickness, that quick slant play. A 2 tight end set. Mo Morris, the ball carrier, with a corner. A first down and much more as he's tackled at the 46 by Danielle Manning.
Man, did you see that block by Leonard Weaver? That's a pancake, snot bubble, all those adjectives you have for him. Watch him, 43 right here. Comes off, bam. Oh. He just drives him to the ground. That allows Mo Morris to get to the edge.
Yeah, Leonard Weaver has become a very popular Seahawk, taking over from Max Strong, maybe one of the most popular players up here the last decade or two. And Strong on IR for the remainder of the year with the neck injury. Another quick pass. This is Bobby Ingram, who puts on a move for another Seahawks first down.
We talked early in this game is, you know, they've got to have some balance offensively. Their emphasis is on passing. They're going to throw it more, but they had to continue to run the ball, and they've done a great job of it today. Seattle has Mo Morris, 10 carries, 70 yards, and you can see today, you know, they came in only averaging 3.4 yards. They're almost 7 yards a carry today. That's what we said they had to do to keep this Bears defense honest.
Marcus Pollard in motion. And off to Mo Morris. You know, let's face it, the reason the running game is working, part of the reason it's working today is that Matt Hasselbeck has put the Seahawks in the right play on just about every chance he's had.
And that's why Mike Holmgren trusts him to switch this emphasis to a pass, because Matt Hasselbeck, as you said, is smart enough to get them out of bad plays. And if he can see where they're weak and there's a bubble that they can run on, he will audible check to that run, and they've done a great job of it today.
Hasselbeck, a guy who saves his best for last. He's even better in the 4th quarter still to come. Morris hit from behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of a couple of yards by the ex-49er Anthony Adams. You know, the Seahawks, JC, are one of a couple of teams, a number of teams, to start the same quarterback every week this year, and it makes a huge difference. Hasselbeck able to change plays. He's used 7 receivers this afternoon, and it's all about number 8 for Seattle.
No question, doing a fantastic job. The other thing is he hasn't thrown an interception yet, and that's something that he's thrown one in their last 7 games, at least one, but you know, you're going to expect that with the way he's throwing the ball and how many times he's throwing it. Today he's been able to avoid that interception.
From the shotgun once again, over the middle, and incomplete. Brian Urlacher had to turn his jersey back to the quarterback for coverage, and it hit him in the numbers.
Yeah, good job by Urlacher getting down the seam. But remember, Lofa Tatupu and these wide receivers said, you got to throw it in the middle. We've got to challenge Brian Urlacher, throw it over his head, make him aware of the fact that we're going to challenge him. Brian Urlacher does a great job that time of running down the middle and making the play.
punt for just the 4th time today as Ryan Plaquemire will try to pin this one inside the 10. And the fair catch called for by Devin Hester. The Bears will take over at the 13. Pacific, 11:30 Eastern.
Yeah, I'll be on my 3rd plate of food watching that game.
Grossman on 1st and 10 for Muhsin Muhammad. It looked like Moose made the catch, but Kelly Jennings may have stripped it away. Incomplete.
Yep. He's saying throw the ball up. Here, Kelly Jennings, this ball is just going to be underthrown right there. He just looks like he just lost it somehow. He came back for it. Oh, the ball just came right over Jennings and just lost it.
2 tight ends for Grossman on 2nd and 10. Olsen in the slot. Rex looks his way first and swings it out complete to Bernard Berrien. We talked about Seattle and their standing in the NFC West. In terms of Chicago's standing in the North, it's an awfully improved division with the surprising Packers winning again today. Detroit lost at home to the Giants, and Chicago started play today at 4-5.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be awfully tough to catch Green Bay, but you don't have to catch them in order to get into the playoffs, and that's their focus. They want to win just enough games to get into it any kind of way, wild card, however.
3rd and a yard, and Grossman keeps it for the 1st down. You know, we also talked about the stability at quarterback that Seattle has enjoyed with Matt Hasselbeck this year. It has not been the case for Lovie Smith, going between Brian Griese and Rex Grossman. Of the 17 teams that have started more than one QB this year, only 4 of them have a winning record. Grossman to pass on 1st and 10. There's the deep ball down the middle of the field, and it's broken up, intended for Bernard Berrien. Deion Grant had the coverage. No flag on the play.
Yeah. Deion Grant, Kelly Jennings do a good job down the field. Their whole focus today was don't give up anything over the top. Rex Grossman does a good job. He gets protection. They pick up Julian Peterson and Tupu on the blitz. Rex is able to step into the throw, and the Deion Grant comes from the middle and just gets that hand on it. It's out there a little bit further. Berrien might be able to make that catch.
Jordan Babineau has replaced Kelly Jennings at corner. Jennings limped off the field after that last play. This is Cedric Benson. And some tough running yards in the middle as Howard Green takes him down for Seattle.
You know, Chicago wanted to come in and take some shots down the field. You know, a guy that I'm surprised we haven't seen on offense is Devin Hester. And here he comes right now. He's a big play guy. And, you know, they said they want to incorporate him in this offense a little more. They haven't had a chance to do it. But although he's not in the game again. He's a guy, the big play guy. They want to get him the ball more. You got to get him on offense.
Greg Olsen in the backfield with Adrian Peterson. Grossman out of the shotgun. 1st down, Chicago. Muhsin Muhammad with yards after the catch. And Muhammad finally taken down inside the 30. A 41-yard pickup as Muhsin Muhammad continues to zero in on 10,000 career receiving yards.
And you know, you see this a lot, and it's a good thing. When you get a backup cornerback in, remember, Kelly Jennings just went out with an injury. Jordan Babineau comes in for him. They go right at him. Get your veteran guy over there, Muhsin Muhammad, sure-handed guy, big body, go right at the new guy.
Devin Hester lines up in the slot. And the handoff is to Cedric Benson, taken down by Leroy Hill after a modest gain.
And the thing with having Devin Hester in on offense is, as soon as he steps on the field, all 11 guys on defense identify him. 23's in the game. There's so much focus on him that it opens up other things. And obviously they're looking for reverses and quick screens and things like that. They've got to get him involved in the offense as a regular receiver. Then that'll open up some of those gadget plays.
They put him in motion here. And Hester gets his first touch offensively. Almost looked like he wanted to throw it. And he's taken out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, but the problem there, like I just said, is when you just bring him on the field and now you try to run a reverse, everybody's looking for it. They expect you to try to get him the ball. You've got to try to get him incorporated in the regular offense. A few plays didn't do this. All 11 guys are saying 23, 23, watch the reverse, watch the reverse. Look at all the blue jerseys over there.
That's the end of the third quarter with Seattle on top of Chicago. Fox NFL Sunday continues after a word from your local Fox station. Ending of the fourth quarter with Seattle on top of the Bears by a touchdown. 3rd and 14. Flags on the play.
Ball start, number 59 offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Fred Miller, just that little twitch. And remember, as loud as it gets in this stadium, he can't hear the cadence. So he's got to either scoot up so he can see the ball or just wait until the guy next to him moves.
Well, the 12-year veteran guilty of a crucial mistake. Now Grossman out of the shotgun as the pass caught by Greg Olsen, who'll be tackled at the 29, well short of a Chicago first down. Jordan Babineau had the coverage for Seattle. So Robbie Gould will enter and try to tighten this up to a 4-point game. Gould has been good from 31 today. This will be a 47-yard attempt, very close to his career long of 49. And Robbie Gould is good from 47 yards away.
Started to struggle just a bit. You see in Cedric Benson's first couple carries, 63 yards and a touchdown. Last 9 carries, only 26 yards. They've got to continue to try to pound the run. When they give it to him, he can square his shoulders up. They had some success. They've got to get back to that. Then the play action will work.
Nate Burleson has been one of the keys for Seattle, but he will not have a chance on this ground ball up the middle that's smothered by Craig Terrell. Here's what's coming up next on the OT.
Coming up on the OT, highlights from a wild day in the NFL. Also, interviews, fantasy football stats, and the latest injury news, including one on Donovan McNabb. Plus, your first look at the brand new BCS college football standings. It all immediately follows your game on the OT right here when you guys are done, Matt and JC.
Yeah, Matt, you better be careful. You're going to end up on the latest injury news.
Oh, I see where your BCS standings have changed a little bit. With your politicking for the Pacific Northwest having finally ceased. Hasselbeck's pass is caught by DJ Hackett. One man to beat. Adam Archuleta bangs him out of bounds at the 10. A 68-yard gain for Seattle.
And again, the same play that they've been running all day, but this time DJ Hackett, instead of bringing it so far inside, he goes up the field. Watch McBride right here try to come under. You can't do that unless you know that you're going to get the football. If not, you got to secure the tackle. Again, McBride is just a rookie. That's a big learning play for him right there. That's an experience. You can't come under those receivers.
A career-long 68-yard reception by Hackett. Hasselbeck to pass it on 1st and 10. Leonard Weaver makes a man miss. He's inside the 10. Adam Archuleta on the stop.
Yeah, now he's grabbing his left shoulder. It was his lower right side. Now it's his left shoulder. Well, Hasselbeck, that's a warrior right there, doing everything he can do to stay in the game. But again, that check down, how big was that? Nothing open down the field. Throws it to the check down, and he gains 6 yards.
Seattle has been fantastic in the red zone this afternoon. 3 touchdowns in 3 previous trips. Maurice Morris is tripped up and tackled without a gain by Urlacher and Briggs. Boy, getting back to Tremaine McBride, JC, you talked about the mistake he made on that previous play. As we take a look at Hasselbeck again and his grabbing the left side.
Yeah, nothing happened there. Oh, just a little shot by Alex Brown running by. I don't know, maybe he's trying to draw the 15-yarder.
3rd and 4, Hasselbeck out of the shotgun. Once again, it's Hackett out of bounds at the 5. Charles Tillman had the coverage this time. But back to Tremaine McBride. We haven't talked about it a lot today. McBride had played so well in the absence of Nathan Basher, who the Bears hope to have back from the groin injury next week. Really the first time that he has struggled perhaps this afternoon.
Oh, he's played well. No question about it. Knocked down 3 balls last week against the Raiders and done a good job, you know, since he's been in there. But you have to know it's all the little things. And you have to know that on those short passes, you can't come under those receivers unless you're going to get the ball.
A chip shot for Josh Brown. And he is up and through, so Seattle goes back on top by 7. 27-20 Seahawks here. Incomplete, tried to dump it off to Benson. And, you know, you kind of gather that every time Rex Grossman has to dump it off, he's just gnashing his teeth.
Yeah, he wants to go down the field. And, you know, one of the reasons why they haven't been able to do it is because in the second half, they haven't run the ball well. And the way they like to go down the field is hard play action and then throw it over the top. And, you know, Seattle's playing for that, obviously.
On 2nd and 15, Adrian Peterson takes over in the backfield for Chicago. And Rex is on the move. He tucks it away and is tackled at the 42 by Julian Peterson. We check in Los Angeles with Kurt Menefee.
Well, I tell you, Terrell Owens is scoring so quickly, we've got to double up just to get it to you. Here is Tony Romo finding T.O. for a 46-yard score. Then later on in the 4th quarter, those two hook up again. This time from 52 yards out. Romo has 4 touchdown passes, all 4 to T.O. today, and the Cowboys are beginning to roll over the Redskins. Back to Matt and J.C., who...
Grossman. Darryl Tapp, a man who tied a Seattle record. The 4th time the Bears have gone 3 and out today. Burleson is there for the punt. He starts the return at the 24. And is tackled at the 32-yard line by Brandon McGowan. Seattle on offense when we come back. Good pass protection for Hasselbeck, and he takes advantage, firing a strike to Bobby Ingram, taken down by the Pro Bowler Lance Briggs after an 8-yard pickup.
Yeah, and that's where they want to throw the ball against cover 2, because the middle linebacker, Brian Urlacher, is responsible for running down the middle of the field. So that opens up the short middle of the field and puts a lot of pressure on those curl guys, whether it's Lance Briggs and Ricky Manning Jr. Those guys short, they've got a lot of room to cover inside.
2nd and short, play action, and Hasselbeck has the 1st down pass caught by Bobby Ingram as he's past midfield, an 11-yard gain. You know, the 5th leading receiver in the NFC this year. And a guy who, again, ranks on each team's top 10 career receiving lists. The former Bear has made an impact here today.
Yeah, all he does is gets open and catches the ball.
Maurice Morris is tackled for a loss. Tommy Harris got in there, bad knee and all, to make the stop for the Bears. Tommy Harris didn't practice all week, and Lovie Smith told us that they were going to keep a watchful eye on him once again this afternoon.
Yeah, he's got that knee injury, and here on turf, they wanted to limit his reps. But, you know, you're down 7, you've got to get your best guys out there. You know, he's a big guy, one of the most dominating defensive linemen in the league when he's healthy. You got to get him out there. Hopefully he can make a play for you. You know, those guys, they don't have a lot of games that they can lose right now and still get in the playoffs.
Marcus Pollard split wide at the top of your screen. There's Ingram again. A 4-yard gain. He's taken down by Brandon McGowan. You know, back to Tommy Harris. His was a name that just kept coming up on Friday with our meetings in the Seattle camp. With so much attention taken by Briggs and Urlacher, the linebackers, the guy that the Seattle offense kept talking about was Tommy Harris.
Yeah, no question. Those guys in the back end, Urlacher and Briggs, wouldn't be able to do the things that they do without guys up front like Tommy Harris.
Bears show a lot of players up front. And Hasselbeck has to move out of the pocket. The pass is incomplete as Maurice Morris can't hang on. Tommy Harris lost his hat on the play.
Yeah, they tried to run that screen. The Bears do a good job of sniffing it out. And they pressure Hasselbeck, and now the play is just all messed up. It was a good job of them recognizing the screen, not letting Seattle get it off.
Well, the Seahawks, as the Raiders did last week, have so far neutralized the big return threat of Devin Hester. He sets up at the 10 for the Flackemeyer punt. And that one's going to boom right into the end zone. Chicago takes over at the 20, down a touchdown with just over 8 minutes. Two handoffs to Cedric Benson have been neutralized with false starts.
False start. Number 69 offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
The second on the 12-year veteran Fred Miller here in the final quarter.
Yeah, and the guys that are affected the most by crowd noise are the tackles, because the further away you get from the quarterback, the harder it is to hear. And those guys out there on the edges, they can't hear a thing.
4 false starts charged to Chicago today. And the fans are feeding off that. Grossman's pass caught by Benson, who is met immediately by Leroy Hill. As we check in again in Los Angeles with Kurt Menefee.
More airworks going on in Dallas. This time it's the Redskins doing it. Jason Campbell finds a wide open Santana Moss for the score. And it's a close one down the stretch. Dallas trying to hold on 28-23. Back to Matt and JC with love.
Kurt, thanks. For more on the Redskins and Cowboys, go to foxsports.com or NFL.com. There's some good ones happening all around the league today. None better than ours here in Seattle. Here comes the pressure. Grossman hangs the jump ball for Muhsin Muhammad. A fantastic layout grab by Muhammad moves the chains for Chicago.
And a good job picking up the blitz inside. Muhammad inside, just going to run this corner route right here. Gets outside of Babineau. Great job of laying out, using those hands and pulling that ball back into his body. See how he just rolls his shoulder under to protect that ball.
Muhsin Muhammad really starting to take advantage of the matchup with the backup corner Jordan Babineau. Second time he's beat him for a catch in the absence of Kelly Jennings. On play action. Grossman down the seam. Oh my goodness! Bernard Berrien had no business catching that football.
That will be on the highlight film. Full sprint, running across the field, and just reaches back and grabs this ball out of the air. Watch this. Left-handed, just reaches back and pulls that ball in. He made that look easy, but I guarantee you that is the toughest thing that any wide receiver can do. When you're running full speed one way, have to turn back around and make a catch with one hand.
Bernard Berrien in the midst of another fantastic afternoon. Kelly Jennings back on the field defensively for Seattle. Grossman has nowhere to go. Ball's out. Seattle recovers. Darryl Tapp has been all over the field in this second half. Patrick Kearney charted free, and the Seahawks take over.
And I was just about to say, how good of a job it was by Rex Grossman not forcing the ball down the field when nothing's open and possibly turning it over. But instead, he runs it, and then Kearney just knocks it out, and he turns it over anyway. You got to put that ball away. He doesn't force it down the field, which has been a problem for him in the past, but now you got to put it away. You can't run with it in one hand because guys are trying to strip it out of there. Kearney does a great job coming from behind.
What a huge turnaround after back-to-back brilliant catches by the Bears receiving core, Muhammad and Berrien specifically. The turnover gives it right back to Seattle, and here's Maurice Morris up the middle for a big gainer.
Did you see him shake Adam Archuleta in the hole? Right in the hole, there's nowhere for him to go, and he just gives Adam Archuleta that dead leg, and Archuleta never touches him. Watch Maurice Morris come through there. Archuleta unblocked in the hole. Maurice Morris just makes him miss.
A 14-yard pickup for Maurice Morris, who is replaced here in the backfield by Leonard Weaver and David Kurtman. The fullback Weaver, the ball carrier, he's tackled for a loss.
Watch this again. You're going to see Archuleta right here. Just jumps in the hole. Whoops. Maurice Morris gives him that old dead leg. Thought you had me? Not.
Maurice Morris, 83 rushing yards today, and this just 6 days after he ran for 87 against San Francisco in the win. It seems that Seattle rushing attack is in pretty good shape these last couple of weeks. So back on the move, pass is caught by the tight end Will Heller inside the 30 as Lance Briggs brings him down. A 7-yard gain.
Again, you mentioned the running game, and that play right there, it only works when you're running the ball well, because then you're able to play action, hard play action, get Will Heller sneaking out. They usually like to run that down by the goal line, and Will Heller's caught 3 touchdowns on that same exact play down in the end zone.
Matt Hasselbeck over 300 yards for the 3rd time this year. With pressure coming. That one caught by DJ Hackett in traffic. And now they're saying Hackett was out of bounds. No catch.
Yeah, I think Hasselbeck was actually just trying to throw this ball away. DJ Hackett ran it down. He just throws that ball up, and Hackett just goes and runs that ball down. And ooh, that left foot, right foot was down. Looks like that left one came down out of bounds.
And here's the red flag making its 2nd appearance on the Seattle sideline today.
Yeah, and DJ Hackett, you see he and Deion Branch talking about it. He's got to drag that foot, though. It can't even be this close.
Challenging the previous play, catch versus incomplete pass.